What's up, my friends? This is Tracy Allen, aka the Cremation Lady, and today we're featuring another celebrity, another well-known figure that pre-planned their final arrangements. And that person, the shadow that you saw, is the amazing Houdini. Everybody knows who Houdini is. We love magic, right? So let's talk about Mr. Harry Houdini. Even the greatest escaped artist pre-planned his final arrangements. Born Eric Wise, March 24th, 1874, in Budapest, Hungary. Houdini was an escape artist using handcuffs or chains. He had theatrical lighting, motion, tension. He did all kinds of stuff that dazzled the audiences back then. He was known for precision, discipline, and control. Can you just imagine trying to get out of a straitjacket or a locked box? You know, in today's world, we have so many little things that give us clues as to how to learn magic tricks and stuff. But even then, even with instructions, I still don't get it. I'm just not good at that kind of stuff. But I thought it was pretty amazing, the things that I would see back as a kid. He was born and gone long before I came into this world. But just I would see movies and TV shows that would talk about Houdini and showed how people were so amazed at what he did. And now in this day and age, it probably doesn't even seem all that spectacular because we've seen some pretty wild things in these times, the way the magicians do stuff now. I can't even think of the one magician that's coming to my mind, but amazing performers. It is said that there was a fan that kicked him in the abdomen area, and there's no confirmation that that's what took him out. October 31st, 1926, he died at the age of 52. Not an old man at all. And there are so many people that I meet that make it seem like planning in your 50s is too soon. There's never a too soon. But anyway, he was 52 when he died. So this is what he wanted for his final arrangements. He spoke this, he shared this with his wife. He told his wife that he did not want to be cremated, and cremation was available at that time. But he said he wanted to be buried. He said that he wanted to be buried at Machpelah Cemetery, that's in Queens, New York. What he told his wife to do was probably pretty creepy to her, but she did it. He wanted, being that he died on October 31st, Halloween, he wanted her to have a Halloween seance every year until he gave her the magic code, right? He had a code that he wanted to give her so that she would know that he was still communicating with her through death. She kept it up for 10 years. And eventually she was like, look, 10 years is long enough to be trying to wait for this man to communicate with me. Once we're gone, it would have been kind of cool and interesting if it had worked out where she could have actually got this code, but it never happened. And once we're gone, that's usually it, as far as we know. Learning about what different well-known figures have done over the years for pre-planning is fascinating to me. And especially when you can go back that far and hear the desires of people from a long time ago, what they wanted. Some of it's really kind of strange because they didn't have the knowledge that we have now. They didn't have the technology. And so they just went off of blind belief. But nowadays, these things, most people don't believe that these things can happen. Learning about pre-planning from people that are well-known figures from back in the day is just really interesting to me. But again, it's just there are people that have planned for ages, understanding that someday they're going to die and this is what they want. I mean, when you think about the pharaohs and stuff, they, how they wanted to be entombed and what was going to be buried or who was going to be buried with them. That's how people did things. And so here we are. It's 2025. Have you planned yet? I am so grateful that I have my plan in place, and I say this all the time because it's so true. Life continually surprises me. Now, the last video I shared with you guys how I am a breast cancer survivor and now being diagnosed with breast cancer again. And I think this time is going to be a lot easier than the last time. At least I'm praying for that. But this past week, I'm just chilling after the kids have left. You know, my children were here visiting with my little grandbaby, and I got them off to the airport, and I get home and I lay across my bed, and just as I lay across the bed, there's a pain that hits me in my back like somebody just stabbed me, and it was hurting so bad. And so I took a couple of pain pills, which did nothing, but I said, okay, I'm gonna just go to bed. Maybe when I wake up, it'll be gone. And I woke up, and the next day it was still there, still having the pain. And as the morning went on, it just got intense. It really started hit me, and I couldn't breathe properly. I couldn't move. I was about to call 911, and I called one of my friends, and she came by and took me to the hospital, to the ER. Ultimately finding out that I had a bout of pneumonia, and it landed in the lower part of my back. The left lung had fluid, and that lung was affecting my back on the left hand side. So any kind of breathing or yawning, movement, everything was hurting me really bad. I had to take medication and stuff, so I'm feeling a lot better. But in doing the x-rays, the CT scan, they found I've got some other nodules and stuff that need to be an eye kept on those and stuff. So, you know, life is just full of surprises, and it's better to go ahead and just have a plan in place, because you can be okay one day and the next minute it's over. The last thing I want to share is condolences to one of my coworkers. Super nice guy. He was doing a seminar, and I'm told that he was telling the audience, you need to have a plan in place, because when you die, and he paused, and people were thinking it was a dramatic pause, but it turned out that he stopped because he wasn't feeling right. And he tells one of our coworkers that just happened to be there, because a lot of times when we do our seminars, we're doing them by ourselves. But in this case, he had somebody from the team that was there with him, and he told them, I'm going to need you to finish this seminar because I'm not feeling well. So when he gets in the ambulance and they're taking him to the hospital, he died on the way. So we lost a really good guy last week, and it's been tough. We're grieving our friend, and it was so unexpected. And we had just taken care of his parents a couple of years ago. They died, I think, within a year of each other. All of them had a smart cremation plan. So when I share this information with you guys, whether you want traditional burial or cremation, make sure that you do something. Have a conversation about what it is that you want, and do something, put something in place, so that whenever that time comes, it's making the logistics and the financial situation that much easier for the people that you love and that love you. That's all I'm going to share for now. I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a happy upcoming New Year. I should be back after Christmas to share one more video for the year before this year ends, or is it two more? Whatever. I'll be back next Sunday. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your feedback, loves, likes, comments, all of that, subscriptions. Have a Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you later. Ciao for now.